We are Prodigy Agency. We represent and support the best esports players in the world. With our family spirit, we provide everything you need during difficult moments or epic ones. We work on every aspect of your journey, planning and managing your career to find the best teams toward one goal: victory. We negotiate your contracts and transfers. We find sponsors and commercial opportunities. We help you grow your own brand, cultivate your image, and developing your merch, social media, and content. We take care of your health and performances. And everything we do it for you. Your success is our goal. Prodigy Agency, players first.
with a full clip of lyrics. Feel my spirit from your head to your speakers. Nowhere I'm headed but riches. If you ain't with it, then good riddance. Popping and locking, I'll never be stopping. I'm jogging and never be breaking that sweat. I'm a jaw dropper.
We are Prodigy Agency. We represent and support the best esports players in the world. With our family spirit, we provide everything you need during difficult moments or epic ones. We work on every aspect of your journey, planning and managing your career to find the best teams toward one goal: victory. We negotiate your contracts and transfers. We find sponsors and commercial opportunities. We help you grow your own brand, cultivate your image, and developing your merch, social media, and content. We take care of your health and performances. And everything we do it for you. Your success is our goal. Prodigy Agency, players first.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Prodigies for yet another best of one blowout right here in the ESEA Advanced Division. My name is Tudor, and alongside myself, I've got none other than AC himself. Now, we're rapidly approaching the very tail end of the season, and playoffs are soon starting to creep up. Currently, we've got a clean sheet of about like 7-5, and obviously to make that cut to advance, the boys have really got to step it up starting tonight.
No, absolutely. I mean, first of all, hi guys. How's everyone doing? We've had an intense couple of weeks, to say the least, and we've certainly got a comeback after after having a couple of days rest, after recomposing our ideas, and we've been playing on Inferno and Nuke virtually nonstop. So much so that today's match against checking notes. Ego Esports, or Ego Esports, what do you want to call them? Who just renamed as well, renamed and rebranded, which I'm not a fan of this logo. I'd much rather have their old logo, present. But you can't. Beggars can't be choosers. We have Ego Esports and we have Nuke as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So with that being already said, let's go ahead and jump into the match overview so we can get a little bit closer detail of what exactly is going to be happening this particular evening. As you said, Nuke is going to be our war zone of choice in this particular best of one, and I think this brings up the tally to 5 times that we have played Nuke so far. Obviously, just 2 play days ago, we were finally able to break the loss streak on Nuke. and hopefully try and continue a win streak that we just built up 2 play days ago.
Mm-hmm.
But that is yet to be determined. Obviously, I am really optimistic that the lads will be able to pick themselves up a nice little W here on Nuke, because they have been showing some really great signs of improvement with each and every single time they visit this map.
I know. I mean, the composition of Shield, FNK, SBT, Quartz, and Keen. I'm especially glad that Quartz has been showing up on Nuke. You know, Shield has been perfecting his angles and his accuracy, or in this case, his crosshair placement. Because when you're opping, I would argue that crosshair placement, like the preemptive crosshair placement, is a lot more important than your actual accuracy with the gun. You know, so Shield throughout all of these matches in Nuke, he has been grinding his way into perfecting his crosshair positioning. And Quartz, I mean, the man's a genius. You've seen the support that he gets in chat.
Yeah.
But all in all, the squad as a whole has lined up their game style to actually be appropriate for Nuke, because we know it is a very technically complex map. It has a lot of verticality, it has a lot of hidey holes, it has a lot of technical grenade placements that you can absolutely go for when you're attacking and when you're defending. So patience is absolutely key, but we've seen shock and awe tactics work really well in selective rounds.
Yeah, definitely so. And the last time that the two of us actually got to see Nuke, that was just 2 playdays ago, and we also got to chat with FNK following the match, and he was the #1 top fragger, the MVP of the entire matchup altogether, clocking in at about 27 kills or something. And he did obviously have a couple of reservations a few weeks back about the team's performance on Nuke, but it has since just gotten better and better. You can see the last time that they played Nuke was versus Enterprise, 16-10 win. Previously, that was versus Anonymous, who have since actually disbanded. That was quite a little bit of a bombshell that I saw on HLTV just earlier today, of all things. But I will need someone in Twitch chat to fact check me on that. But I do recall a Polish team starting with the letter A did unfortunately disband and cease operations as of today, which has been unfortunate.
Okay. Well, I mean, as of today, we also had, the team we're actually facing off against, ESEA Esports, has rebranded, not only in name but also in logo. I was a big fan of their previous logo, but I guess this is I'm not gonna say a standard sight to see in the CSGO competitive scene, but it's common enough that you see teams surging up, and then one player gets picked up and the rest of the squad disbands as a whole. It's relatively common in the CSGO scene, but yeah, we've seen. Actually, the last match we played, it was DE Anubis, which I did not get a chance to cast it. It would have been a little fresh air, but still, these are our players. We're looking through them. They look ready. They look motivated. They look ready to tackle Nuke yet again for the fifth time, I believe, this season.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. This marks as the 5th outing on Nuke so far in the regular season.
What a time to be alive. You have 5 times Nuke, and let's see if we can rack up another win on season 44 here of ESEA Advanced. We're going up against ESEA Esports, and actually we've seen most teams find their success after a good first half starting as T.
Yeah, definitely so. And I believe it was the last time that we casted Nuke versus this side of Enterprise. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the Prodigies were able to walk away with about 7 rounds on the T side. It might have also been 9 or 8. It was somewhere around that ballpark.
Something along those lines.
I think it definitely was an 8-7 first half that they were able to put down on the T side, and then the CT side was almost completely flawless. I think they only dropped 1 or 2 rounds by the very tail end of it, but yes, their overall strategies have just gotten so much better on the T side. And when it comes to the pistol round, I mean, the pistol round that we, for example, saw just 2 days ago versus Enterprise, it was relatively touch and go, and I think it was SBT, if I'm not mistaken, or Quartz, who had to come up with a little bit of magic and clutch up a nice little 1v2 situation in the B bomb site down below to be able to pull that one off. Obviously, the pistol rounds, we can't even really begin to just reinstantiate how crucial they are in Counter-Strike in general, but that is still a little bit of a point of improvement that needs to be recognized by the side of the Prodigy, because while they do get off to a very, very good start, at the very, very start of some of these pistol rounds, things usually spiral out of control more often than not, and then somebody is expected to make a heroic play to actually convert that into a win.
Hey man, listen, I'm all about the heroic plays. I'm a real fan of those. You know me, I like the flashy plays, and honestly, the Prodigies have been able to deliver, but sometimes they can't really translate that into a decisive victory, you know? So, obviously, if we're rooting for the Prodigies, we'd like to see a little bit more consistency throughout their game style, especially on the site retakes, which we've already discussed is one of their weak points. But they've since started to be able to not even have to go through retakes or the retake process, and if they do, they're a lot more efficient. And the name of the game here is efficiency. Eco Esports, they are starting on red. The Prodigies are on CT side for this round, or for this first half of the nuke. And right off the bat, Eco Esports trying to look around the outside, keen with a knife in hand, looking for T-vents. See if any stragglers try to come through.
For the time being, AGO? Yeah, potentially, if someone happens to actually go through that lower vent side, but now the collapse comes on through. Shield gets away with one, but the trades are just directly on point for AGO. Keen is struggling, but eventually finds a connection with that USP, but he will be traded off. So FNK, 13 HP with a nice little one-way smoke, but he's been read into by Darchville. Unfortunately, the pistol round doesn't go the way of the Prodigies. AGO just a little bit too strong.
And this is something common that we do get to see a lot of the times, like T-sides getting pistol round first. Not surprised. I would have expected the Prodigies to be able to retake, but unfortunately they were a little bit too behind on their positionings here against Ego Esports. They had a little bit of an awkward entry, but one that caught the Prodigies completely off guard here and managed to take round one just like that. Now, they are running a full buy on Ego Esports side, one AK double Galils and double Mac 10s, while on the Prodigies, oh my goodness! Is that a Mac 7?
Swag 7 indeed, AC.
I love it!
It's one of my favorite guns.
I know, look at
the best
we're
guns.
actually looking at him. Look at Quartz.
Yep.
The Mac 7. You're on top of the box. See if you can get any picks here, because this is a lot of cash that comes into his pockets if he manages to get some sort of picks. It's also a very short gun, so he was not spotted at all. On top of the box. Gets one!
Oh!
No!
Swaps
Pick
out
it
for
back
the
up! What are you
Galil.
doing?
He's trying to throw a little bit of a curveball over here. Does get away with the Galil and finally puts an end to Mary's ways. And he's going to just triple down for yet another frag to clean things up. The Swag 7, it made a statement right over there, and the Prodigies, they tie up the scoreline. But as he said, it was a wee bit sad that it was just this one kill, but what a kill it was on Tatomico. Just a straight up dink and a half.
A dink and a half? Man, that guy's brains are splattered all over the wall. Like, that's a shotgun he's holding. Come on. Quartz is back on. Oh, Quartz is actually back on the Mac 7. What?
Okay.
Like, he dropped the Galil to FNK and he picked up another Mac 7. If it works, it's not, I mean,
It's gonna work.
If it works, don't try to fix it. You know, I like that.
Exactly. But Quartz is still gonna play this relatively conservatively, just outside of that squeaky door. I think he's just dropped back down into the vent and he's kind of on the ladder, but AGO preparing to go for a pop over towards ramp. SPT with a very easy freebie, and Shield is there to reinforce, but he does have to duck out. SPT below can't hold on to the bomb site as Enzo cleans him up.
Now Quartz here on the double doors, moving over to the control room, or to the window here, trying to get a pick with the Mac 7, which would be very, very crucial here to maintain a very, very positive economy. Tamiko on Dark, someone on Cat, and now it's up to the Prodigy to go for the retake on the site. It's 4v4, so it can absolutely happen.
The entry's going to be crucial right here. Keen, able to decapitate Tomiko. Darchville with the trade back on through. Mary as well is just tapping away with the Tech 9, but it gets oh so damn messy, and Quartz, well, he's still holding on to that Mag 7 despite the fact they didn't really get to see any action in that retake, but they do get the job done in the anti-eco. It got a little bit touch and go when SPT had to forcefully give up so much of that ramp territory, and then he also was the first player to go down below. But still, this entry was sublime, and the retake was just thoroughly on point as well.
You're absolutely right. So, want to see more Max 7 rounds here from Quartz, because this was a nice little change of pace here, and it bumped the Prodigy's economy so much because he did get 2 kills off the max if I'm not mistaken. So much so that he was able to buy off the op for shield, and everybody's on a very healthy full buy. Darshville, though, goes in for the max 10, goes for the entry, and FNK does get the trade.
Shield, good little flick as well, and a nice little cleanup. FNK rewarded with the final frag. The moment that Keen went down inside of main, they knew exactly what was happening, and they had to just simply be on guard and ready to receive all of that raw, unbridled aggression that AGO were throwing their way. Once again, it was another eco round, so AGO had nothing but pistols to work with, so this result to be expected, but it was nothing but a sea of blue in the kill feed as AGO just fed themselves into the meat grinder.
And we've seen this happen like twice in a row at this point for the Prodigies. Once they get the entry kill, or once the kills start rolling off, they all come in at the same time. So I guess they picked up on how AGO Esports actually roll through the map, and they're countering it perfectly. They only needed like 1 or 2 rounds to really figure out what AGO Esports were all about. And now that they've kicked it up a notch, it's all about the Prodigies, honestly.
Much slower approach coming out from AGO right now. A little bit of presence over towards red as Darchville is, well, fishing out for a little bit of information. SPT, he's over towards that secret side, and he can promptly go for a swing if there is a flashbang. And now the smoke's coming on through, and Darchville's got a suspicion that someone's up there. SPT, he has confirmation, and he can go for the swing. That's a very easy pick for him.
Yes, it was uncontested as well. We're gonna listen in on what the boys are discussing here on round 5.
It's me, the doors on B.
I have main.
Can
have
be heaven or no?
No. Can only come contact door.
What are you watching, Mihai?
I'm coming home with you,
Yankee,
shit.
I will have hot. I have hot.
Can come out.
Outdoor, dead. 1 more, 2 more.
One more.
Don't die.
Door out.
Nice, good job.
Ah, you were there, I thought you're top hot. I'm retarded.
One of my favorite calls in CSGO is "Don't die."
Yep. I was literally just about to touch on that. I swear, like, it's basically all of FNK's vocabulary at this point. He's just like, don't die because I don't want to have to pick up the slack and clean up the mess that you leave for me all the time.
But he does it anyway, and he does it so proficiently. 4-1 so far. The defense on Nuke is looking really good. And the more dilated our lead is, the better time we're gonna have on a T side of this map.
CT side has been looking pretty damn good so far. I mean, I think this is about, like, what, the 3rd pistol round that AGO have been forced to work with. That is not exactly a great position if you're on the T roster. Shield with a rare miss is actually going to let them slip by into lower ramp.
Yeah, he had a lot of targets. He couldn't decide on one, so he just shot between them. Unfortunately, that is going to leave a lot of work for SBT to pull through, but he blocked off one of the entries to B site, and he's looking straight at the second one. Shield all the way back on CT spawn, trying to look for stragglers, trying to look for a pick. As Keen now approaches ramp, gets a pick, so this Keen.
Enzo is going to continue to dance around with Shield outside.
Oh.
Silence falls upon all of Nuke and Shield. Oh, he's just inches away. He will finally, well, confirm the frag and find the head of Enzo right there as Darchville with a scavenged AK-47 is going to just take an HE right to the dome. 35 HP left to work with, and Bomb, it is not on his back. Keen is going to quickly just clean him up as the Prodigies. They pick up 5 rounds in a row on the CT side.
This economy is way over busted. Everybody on the Prodigies is well over 4K, and we actually have a couple of players on 10K plus. Like, we have so many rounds to spare. It's insane the amount of lead that we've managed to amass in these first few rounds as CT.
And I think this train is just not going to stop at any certain point. It could potentially right here if AGO are able to make this gun round stick. Wild spray coming on through from Enzo, and it's good for 1. Quartz is actually going to go through that smoke down into the vents he goes. While Darchville is outside, creeping his way further up towards Secret. Shield is going to turn his attention over towards that hut side. That's an entry from Darchville, creating so much space for AGO to work with.
Will he be able to work with that space? Darchville's still cleaning up a house as he peeks through corners and weaves his way into B side. Shield still has his op and Keen still has his AK, but it's a 2v5, and I don't think they want to take this point.
One goes down. 5v2 on the retake. This is going to be really, really tough.
I don't
You
think
can
there is a
definitely
retake in this point.
Nah, not necessarily. I mean, you could definitely make the argument that they should try and attempt it. Shield, hello, hi. Doesn't spot out
it's okay.
Enzo, unfortunately enough. Nah.
It's fine. He was probably looking out for the outside. Didn't notice that he was right in front of him, right on his crosshair. But now they do have the information that he's on T side. They're probably going to try to pick up Enzo and cut off some of Ego Esports' economy. They can afford to go for this pick, and he absolutely goes for it. He
Covers the
saves.
op
Yep.
as well.
No. What?
Oh no! Pain.
What?
Genuine pain.
How does the bomb hit him there? He was healthy enough, supposedly. Oh darn it!
I think the bomb might have actually been planted just like right on the doorstep of Hut. But even then, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense that the blast radius would have killed him from up there. I'm so perplexed. I'm so confused by it, but hell, onwards and upwards we go. 5-2 your current score line, and all of the funds that we were just talking about with the Prodigies, a couple of members, they were once sat on about 10k. Now they're down to the last couple of buckaroos.
Which I guess it's reasonable considering that you're playing on CT side. It's normal to that your kit is a little bit more expensive. Almost everyone is on the Fuse kits. We all have expensive M4A1Ss, and now it's up to Quartz to clean up from behind. Will he be able to do it? No, he tries to pick up the AK. It backfires tremendously. FNK can't clear house here, but SBT has something to say about this A take.
So much information to work with, but Mary's gonna, well, actually claim SBT on top of that. Trade comes on through with the AWP, and the bomb plant is gonna go down on B, so Shield has definitely got a spring in his step and has to make a move right here.
It's an Uno v Uno. Shield did drop his op in favor of this AK, so he can have a little bit more dynamic on his engagements here. We're seeing up against Osram.
The fact that that window was actually popped is so crucial because he can slip in completely unnoticed. But time is starting to run out. He needs to make a move.
Does he know?
20 HP.
He has to be down there.
I think he knows.
Door's closed.
Yeah.
He's going for the peek. He's going to try to find it. He finds the head, but he doesn't have the kit for the defuse.
I don't see it on the HUD, so that must mean it's not on his back pocket. Bit of a shame right there. If there was a kid in play, he could have definitely stuck the defuse right there, but the Prodigies, they have to forfeit this round to AGO.
Yeah, it's a shame because we had 3 kits running into round 8. So Shield going through all of those bodies couldn't pick up a kit from one of his fallen teammates. Couldn't make the defuse, which is an unfortunate scenario to find yourself in, because he did almost clutch them down. And yeah, that's exactly the point here. You see those good play of last round.
Yeah,
could have been good, but that's going to be round number 3 for AGO Esports. We're moving in to round 9. We have a tactical pause coming through.
So the Prodigies are probably just thinking about exactly how they want to expend all of their funds.
If they want to expend their funds in this scenario, right?
Which they probably wouldn't, because a lot of people are sub 2k, and at that certain stage, yeah, you are just starting to build up your loss bonus. It is currently 2/4 of the way, so halfway full. And realistically speaking, there are going to be some members that won't even be able to afford to buy in the next round with complete util. Odds are, if this goes completely south, Shield is probably going to drop an AK and pick up an op for himself, but we'll have to wait and see. For now, it is just that hero rifle that they have to work with.
You see, SBT and Keen don't even get anything apart from a flashbang. Keen has a 5.7 to maybe work with here. Try to create some division, and we do see Azran going down. That's 4 people down from the Prodigies in a blink of an eye, and it's down to SBT with his little 5.7. Try and do some sort of damage to Ego Esports' economy here.
Does get away with an AK. Question is, can you hold on to it for about 45 seconds until the timer expires and the bomb goes boom? He's got no armor to work with. And AGO probably, I'm not exactly sure if they know that SPT is holding on to this AK.
Aw.
Well, now they certainly do, and Enzo's going to quickly just put a cap in that. So, AGO, they find themselves now 1 round away from tying up the score line. They save their own economy, and the Prodigies, they finally built one up for themselves, and they're going to expend all of their funds. Quartz actually going for the XM on top
I'm
of
sorry,
that.
did I miss something, or is today shotgun day?
I think today is shotgun day, yeah.
We've seen 0
is a bit
shotguns
weird.
up until the 12th round, I reckon. The 12th or the DL. I can't do maths. I'm sorry. Up until the 11th round of ESEA Advanced, but all of a sudden, Quartz is pulling out every single shotgun in the inventory. Already pulled out the Max 7 twice, and now he's got the XM.
On T side, he just has to bring out the sawed off, otherwise it's just not right.
I know, right? That's what I was thinking. Yeah, for sure. Can't wait for the Negev to come out though. It's not a shotgun, but it's a heavy gun as well.
True. SBT, easy little headshot, but can't find the second. No, that was Keen's moment to shine, and he fumbles the bag as Tomiko slaps him down. 3v4, and the XM sings a sweet song of death at range.
Why does he
AK?
always try to drop the gun? That's the problem. He tries to drop the shotgun, and it backfires every single. Let's use the XM. You racked up a couple of buckaroos from that XM. Might as well roll with it.
Yeah, Quartz, the universe is speaking to you, bro. Stop letting the shotguns go.
No, just another clean headshot, and he looked. He looked at him. He might I think he was already thinking about picking up the AK. He looked at him, and he probably didn't even notice that he saw him.
Yeah.
Ah, man.
Bit of a smooth brain moment, but it is what it is.
It's okay. It's Quartz. He's got a lot of game to play still. He's got a lot of shotguns to pick up. Ego Esports do tie up the scoreboard. For the time being, it's 5-5 on the 11th round. We are nowhere near on a full buy here. We're already 2 members down. Shield picks up a fallen deagle, so you can work some magic with that gun. Shield does find the head of Darshville. Enzo tries to break an entry.
Yeah, it does get traded off, but at the very least, he does strip one rifle out of the hands of Darchville. And AGO, they're still very, very careful about this. They don't want to put a foot wrong. Counter-Strike is a horror game.
Counter-Strike is a spooky game, yeah. It's needs parental advising here. We do see a jump scare coming through.
Yeah.
He saw the arm, and he find the kill. SBT versus the world. He's still healthy. His head gets taken out.
Not happening. For the first time, AGO, they will establish a lead of their own as they also pick up 5 rounds back-to-back. This is starting to get a little bit worrisome because both teams have basically just traded out 5 rounds back-to-back, and if history should continue itself, then now is the time for the Prodigies to start winning, and considering the fact that there's only 4 rounds left to go, you could hypothetically end off the half with a 9-6 split. Yeah, which for the CT side, historically speaking, is not the greatest. You usually want to walk away with 10 rounds or more.
No, for sure. I mean, unless the Prodigy has something cooking here for the CT side, and honestly, their economy looks good. And the next 4 rounds could be ours if this tendency remains. But let's see. 12th round in play right now. We do see FNK burning up. He's on top of a molly, and he really can't do anything to get out of it. And Quartz burns out the molly as well.
At the very least,
the round.
As the dust settles, SBT and Shield are able to clean up the slack. I'm not exactly sure what was going on with Keen right over there at the very, very back end of the site.
If I had to guess, it was like they were trying to reposition into a proper spot where they could
behind cover,
where they could respond to Ago's entry. But the mollies were so well placed, they just had to walk through them. Otherwise, they'd risk an easy full spray from Ago on them.
Yeah. That probably was the case, and either one of those 2 options would have still just resulted in Keen's death. But 6-6, Keen with an HE might be able to find a lick of damage, and does find a little bit, but not all too much. I think that is exactly 15 points of damage across 2 members. And there's a full 100 coming out as Keen is the first to fall.
Okay. Keen is the first one out, but we do see Quartz. He swapped out the shotguns for the MP9. Still a good amount of cash income if he does find a kill with that. Shield does not miss with that op, and Enzo is down for the count. Well, as in the round, SBT to burst, but SBT does take on the trait. Let's hear in what the boys are saying on the 13th round here.
One.
Heaven.
Heaven out.
Two.
Down.
Side.
Two heaven.
Dead.
Up. One heaven.
One
inside.
more.
One more. Heaven and side. Okay, I'm going events.
So,
Heaven. Heaven dead.
default,
side.
default last.
And you plant I go wait. Yeah. Planting.
One thing to hub. Nice.
Nice. Bloody
Oh,
Chop.
good job. Nice, nice.
I love it. I love course. Nice bit. Oh man, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. And that was a very good retake on the round. Did not allow Ago to actually get the plan, so that's a lot of cash that Ago are going to miss out on the upcoming 14th round here.
Yeah, I think that might have actually just completely crippled their economy, if I'm not mistaken. No, it hasn't. They can still put up a full buy in this last round.
Right.
Not last round of the half, but if this one goes south for them, then it'll definitely be the last full buy they can put up for the short term.
And as it stands right now, Darshville is working with 24 HP on the outside. He's pulled back here, right now. And I guess the Prodigies have already predicted whereabouts Ago Esports are going to be looking for the entry. Oh, Shield misses 2 op shots. Does send the message, though.
That just gave up so much space for AGO to take right up for free SBT. There's already in the down... Well, he's already down below. Protocol's already set in stone for him, but he gets out-dueled by Tomiko on top of that. That is not how the turn should have tabled. Asteran takes a little bit of damage, but Tomiko is once again right there to pick up the slack through double doors and Quartz. He's going to think twice before pushing that.
It's not going to be pushing that, but the bomb is planted. The Prodigies, we have 1 defuse kit on Shield. What is going to be the call? Because it is 3v5, and honestly, it looks like they just want to save. They do not want to go for the site. They just want to give it up for the 14th round and move in healthily for the 15th and last round of this half. Oh, he gives himself away.
At least now the Prodigies know what to look out for. Enzo comes on through with the spray as well. That is one really, really great exit for them. And they might get away with 2 more. Shield. Oh, man, is playing with fire, and he does eventually go down. The MP9 sprays down 2 of them. So a bit of a salvage situation for FNK. Left on 1 HP, but only gets away with a Galil.
I know, you should have walked back and got the up from Shield, but it was a little bit too far away for the reset there, and couldn't really find it. I guess Galil is better than the MP9 that he was holding, but Quartz is back on the XM. Let's go.
Alrighty.
This is why I pay internet for.
I got gigabit internet for exactly this reason. I don't care if it costs me 70 euros a month. I paid to see Quartz in full HD with an XM. Tomiko, the first to go. FNK with the A4 is going to swap that out as Mary will trade it off. Bomb narrowly goes down, I think, down below inside of B. A shield. Ooh, duels things out with the
Talk
Galil.
smack about the
That's a
Galil
lovely
again.
shot.
Go on, I dare you.
No, I won't.
Shield
After
makes
that
it
kill, I
work.
won't.
Now, I like that there's a lot of guns spread around the map already, but Quartz is still holding on dearly to the XM. Now just have to retake the site. Ago are working with 2 players, and we have 3 on the Prodigies. The retake is coming in. We have no defuse kit, so we got to make it snappy. We have a kill on the XM, ladies and gentlemen. The kill is on the XM. Go for the defuse. Unfortunately, there's no time left as the bomb is going to go boom on the 15th round, and Ago swap to CT on an 8-7 lead.
That is just about as grand as a T-side start off can actually go for AGO, but for a CT performance, the Prodigies are definitely going to kick themselves after that one because there were a couple of rounds that they just let slip through their fingertips. 2 instances, if I can recall, well, obviously, the round that we just witnessed, and I think it was also round number 9, if not, it must have been round number 10, where we, successfully pull off the retake, but there's no kit, and there's no time for a full 10-second defuse. So, hypothetically speaking, it could have definitely ended off at a 9-6 split, but not even walking away with a round majority on the CT side, that is going to hurt.
It's okay. It's okay. We're predominant on the good old T side. Let's see how the pistol round goes, because we've seen that if we do have a decent pistol round, or even the second, let's not even call it the pistol round. Let's call it the second round. If we have a good second round, we've seen from the first half that that Ego Esport are slightly how do you call it? Impetuous on how they approach the map, and they lost 4 rounds in a row after bad call after bad call. So we have to wait and see how it works out for us.
Yeah, indeed. Mistakes to capitalize upon, and hopefully AGO are going to let some more chinks in the armor show. We are going to cut to a short little break, but when we return, we'll see if the Prodigies can convert their second win of the regular season on Nuke. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a short minute.
What am I to do with this? I'm headed to the top of the game and it's getting, but I'm finna handle it. Break it down like an analyst. I'll be loading up, they wanna package this. Pay for peace, pacifist. I'm never old enough to give a pessimist.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Your current score line on Nuke is 7-8, with the side of AGO leading the charge, being able to just narrowly get away with the 15th round by the skin of their teeth, as a defuse kit was sadly nowhere to be found for the Prodigies. But now they don't have to worry about ensuring that their util belts are full, because the T side, it ain't work with diffuse kits.
No, but we could work with tasers or something. That's something we can work with, you know. Also, our utility is a little bit cheaper as well. Our Molotov grenades are a little bit cheaper than the incendiary grenades from the CT side. AKs are a little bit cheaper than the M4s, etc., etc. So economies on our side. Let's see how we roll around the T side on Nuke. Usually, the pistol round favors the Prodigies when we're playing on T side, and from what we saw on the first half from Ego Esports, they kind of fumbled the second, third, and fourth round. So if that happens again, we have a repeat of the first half of Nuke with the Prodigies. I mean, I'd say we're set to get the big 15 dub here.
Yeah, potentially, but we
I don't work
potentially
with potentials. I work with yes sirs.
You are a Sith Lord and you only deal in absolutes. Is that correct?
Something of the sort. Yes. Something dark side. Luke, I have cookies.
You know what? I given by what you just told me, your knowledge of Star Wars must be absolute zero. But that was actually funny enough to let me give you a pass on that. So congratulations, you did something.
Thank you. You're absolutely right. I do not Star Wars. No.
Also, can we take a look at Keen? Why is he so dripped up for this match? Like,
why wouldn't he be? I'm dripped up for this match. You didn't talk about
no,
drip.
No, you don't understand. You don't understand. Keen is out dripping the two of us as on-screen talent, right?
My brother...
He's just sat there, the IGL. Man dresses for the job that he has, because as an IGL, you always have to show up to the office looking absolutely bombastic. He's got a cooler buttoned-up shirt than I do. And I'm starting to feel a little bit jealous about it.
You know, man's gotta do. And right now, the man's gonna get all squadded up on Kevlar, except for Shield, who bought himself into an HE and a Molly. Let's see how they plan to roll out. And they're storming ramp with everything they got. And the only spam that Ego Esports had to work with was a frag and a flashbang.
Wow. Okay, finally.
They took Heaven.
Yeah, they got Heaven and they got lower A as well. Now Asran is going to try to make his best impression of Lara Croft with these dualies right here. Finds one frag onto the head of Quartz as well. The bomb does go down, so a little bit of cash secured. And there is even more as the Glocks reign supreme. FNK and SBT, they hit the nail on the coffin right there for AGO, and they take the pistol.
Asran. All right. Sorry, round one is down for the Prodigies. This is good. This is a very, very good sign. The shock and awe really, really work here in this round. We saw a little bit of a retake coming in from Azran, but he really couldn't find the targets on these last few picks. He gave up on the targets way too quick, and this allowed us to secure round 1 and put us on a very, very big economical advantage. Ego Esports have very little to work with on this round, so I guess it's just a matter of finding a proper point to try to go for, because we already got a pick on the MAC-10.
Yep, we went down vent. AGO are calling an emergency meeting. The bomb plant has gone down, and soon they are going to be completely ejected from the space station. This is just not going in the favor of the CTs, but they have...
Did you Amogus?
Somehow, Darchville has gotten away with an AK, and he's just going to tuck himself deep inside a T-spawn and hang on for dear life.
That's a pretty little case-hardened AK, if I do say so myself.
Yeah.
It's not a blue gem.
Are those
It's not a blue
also-
gem, is it? No, it's not a blue gem.
No, those are not Titan Hollows, but those are some Titan stickers on there. That is a very good little case hardened.
Oh, he does not get to save the AK, as the Prodigies know exactly where to find him, and they hunt him down. Round numero dos for the Prodigies here on the second half of the map, and it's looking very, very good.
Yep, looking very, very good indeed. And towards the end of it, it must have been Darchville's season because he did not stand a chance. The Prodigies 2 rounds off the trot of halftime, and now with AGO finally mustering up a little bit of an economy themselves, they will full buy into rifles. This is going to shape up to be quite the competitive round, as the Prodigy as well, not exactly directly sending it through that squeaky side, instead a little bit more reserved, as FNK takes a boatload of damage, set down to half HP after taking some rounds on Marshmallow.
Darchville did trade a little bit of HP, but he did win that trade directly at 74 HP versus 48 from FNK. So now let's see how the Prodigies rotate their way around the map. They still have full spam on the inventory. Look at that. They still have 5 smoke grenades to work with. So theoretically, they haven't attempted an entry yet.
No, nope. And AGO, they responded with almost the vast majority of their util.
Yes, they have.
Really,
You're right.
really good job. Yeah, the Prodigies, they did a great job of just baiting out as much of those grenades as they possibly could. So now, they only exactly have that much to work with. 60 seconds left on the clock, and the smokes are going to start, well, being planted towards that outside portion, so they can safely shepherd their way over towards Garage or Secret.
Now, Darchville does reveal his position. He's on Garage. The Prodigies know this. Enzo, through the smoke, finds the FNK, and that's 1 down for the count on the Prodigies. 4v5. 30 seconds on the clock left to take any point whatsoever. They're slowly pushing their way towards the towards the staircase. Here on Secret. SBT on main. Will he find a kill? Darchville does not get spotted, and he takes down SBT. The Prodigies now scramble to try to find a positioning as Darchville takes yet another target from the Prodigies, and that's 4K on Darchville.
Yeah, it's wraps. It's done for the Prodigies right here. Unable to deal with Darchville, who single-handedly wins the round for AGO outside from inside a garage.
I thought they had the information on Darchville, though.
They knew he was probably playing somewhere around garage, but not necessarily just directly behind that gray container. Because realistically speaking, the only place that you can kill him from if he's playing gray container is literally from main. He gets himself that opening frag, and then he just continues to rotate on through a little bit further towards his boost spot, and that means the Prodigies have to dig themselves even deeper into uncharted waters if they really want to deal with him. But yeah, Darchville single-handedly just takes them down 1 by 1, ties up the score.
All right, so now Force Spike comes in from the Prodigies as they run 1 AK, 2 Galil's MAC-10, and a Magical Deagle from Quartz. Let's see if he can do anything as we are looking at our Professor Quartz coming right downstairs, trying up for a big push here. Smoke comes down. Swap around to the ramp. There's no big tell on where the Prodigies are going to try to make an entry. Ego Esports are swapping out grenades. Yeah.
Yep. There's a nice little entry, but Tomiko does respond with, oh my goodness, 3 kills in a row. Catches shield midair as well, like the little clay pigeon that he is. And it's all down to Keen and Professor Quartz, who is still trying to school some of these fools right here. Keen has an inkling where Darchville is, confirms his suspicions, and trades and upgrades, I should say, the Galil to an AK, but at this certain stage, can you really salvage the round?
I mean, it's
I don't know.
3v2. They do not have the bomb at this point in time, and you'd expect Ego Esports to actually have the information on the whereabouts of that object. Now, let's see. Keen on the ramp still manages to get one more kill. He does not see Tamiko as he takes down Keen. Makes it a 2v1. Quartz with the Deagle will be picking up that AK from his fallen teammate as he makes a push through ramps.
20-ish seconds left to go. Has got bomb as well.
Oh,
But that's not the only thing he has on his back. He's got Enzo right behind him as well, creeping on through the lurk, and AGO, they're the first team from these two to, well, hit double digits and join the Cool Kids Club, and that is going to relegate the Prodigies as well to using nothing but upgraded pistols or just their pure Glocks because their economy is in shambles.
Yes, it is, and we have a tactical pause just to make sure we are all on the same page coming into this round. 10-9, this is the first time Ego Esports come in with a lead on the second half of the game. As we all know, T-side is a little bit more tricky to navigate on DE Nuke, but it's not impossible for the Prodigies to actually pull through here.
Not impossible at all.
Eagle Deagle, triple Glockies, and the Pockies. What they have to say is they are just running the setup. 2 grenades, 1 smoke, 1 flash, 2 Deagles. Keen, your in-game leader here, with the span to break an entry. You go for flash and awe. See what they actually have to throw here as Ego Esports realize that the Prodigies are on Echo. Nothing to do with this. 1, that's 2, make it 3 on Enzo's side. Clean sweep by Ego Esports, and Enzo clean on the AK.
He might be a little bit upset about the fact that Darchville just robbed him of an ace as well.
I mean,
like,
what
you
can
spray
do?
down 3 people at that range as well, from main all the way down towards head glitch with an AK. Just 1 controlled spray, not even letting off the trigger once. That takes a little bit of skill to pull off, honestly.
No, absolutely. I mean, you know exactly what the pattern is. He works with it. He makes it look easy. Now the Prodigies go for round 2 here. Around the outside, but they get immediately stopped by smokes and flashes coming in from Ego Esports. Ruining a little bit of their spam. As FNK tries to go for a one-sided smoke, it looks like. We're just waiting for someone to push in, but Ego Esports are playing the patient game. They're not the ones that have to push this.
Nope, not in the slightest. AGO, they have exhausted a lot of their util, though, as they have done in previous rounds. They've got roughly 4 flashbangs to work with in just a couple bits. Well, yeah, 1 of each other grenade, which is not exactly ideal, exhausting so much util this early on. The Prodigies, meanwhile, they're going to start committing more of their own to claim control of this outside portion. Enzo has been forced back into main with Quartz right on his tail.
Quartz knows they went back to main, but he does not want to fish him out. They just want to gain positioning around CT spawn, make sure they have that site nice and clear, but Quartz does not know he's being stalked. You look straight at him, but he doesn't know! Wait, FNK knows something.
He's on the others. Yeah, no, I think, yeah, they're on the other side of the wall, but Darchville actually turns the corner, rounds it, and deals with Quartz outside. 35 seconds left as FNK is going to start waddling his way into hut, but the rest of the action, it's down below. Asren, you will let that bomb plant go down, and he's going to have to wait for reinforcements to show up. Enzo shuts down FNK on the top floor, so now we just head down into the basement and see what's what.
Yep, and it's a 3v3. I mean, barely a 3v3 as Keen is 1 sneeze away from passing out. He's at 1 HP, but he's got 2k under his belt on this round alone. Should be a good round for the Prodigies as Ego Esports don't seem too keen on going downstairs to try to retake the spot.
I don't really like this from AGO. I mean, you basically had Enzo deal with FNK on the top floor, cutting off 1 valuable rotate back to safety for the Prodigies through that vent side. Everyone has still got plenty of cash. Prior to the round ending, both Darchville and Asran had 4k plus, with Enzo sitting very, very comfortably on about 7k. You could definitely afford to go for an even 3v3 retake, but they just didn't.
I guess they didn't have enough control over B side to actually afford to go for that, and they didn't have enough spam for the re-entry as well. Because like you said at the beginning of the round, they're really, really good at spending a lot of spam way too early. So when these situations happen where they have to go for retake, they don't really have a lot to work with. And they just rather play it safe. I guess it's a safe bet to make sure that they keep the money. It's a gamble at the end of the day, right? You're basically gambling your primary arms and your Kevlar and helmet for a round or for a potential round. So you might not. So you don't have the safeguard of having at least a flashbang to work with. So they just decide to play it safe and not throw or risk throwing away the weapons, even though Keen was at 1 HP. 3 seconds before we head back into the 22nd round. Prodigy's losing by 1 single round. Let's see how fast of an entry they want to go, because they're setting up a lot of spam really, really early here.
Yeah. I think a couple of smokes were also tossed in towards his A bomb side. At least one Molotov definitely was, and that's going to displace Mary down below.
Wait, SBT?
Down into the vent. He's actually going on the chase. That is a valuable entry as the AWP is stripped out of the hands of AGO.
Stripped? That was absolutely ripped out of his hands. He didn't want to give it, but he had to. That's an incredible entry by the Prodigies. Very, very fast-paced. Dropping AGO to only 2 players, Azran and Tomiko. See what they can do as Azran gets taken down. Tomiko is cut off by the molly on Heaven.
45 seconds into the round.
Wow.
And that's all that will be required. The Prodigies speed run any percent their way through. Nuke as they type the scoreline 11-all. I don't know where that version of the Prodigies has been missing this entire time, but this is exactly the kind of stuff that we want to see. SBT, absolutely sublime, not letting that little hair get out of his sight right there. And FNK, curving on through outside, shuts down the final player into Miko as well.
Jeez.
Now the gloves are truly off. It's going to be a bare-knuckle brawl between these two.
For sure. Like, usually when you see fast rounds, you expect them to come out of a CT side that's like, you know, a T side that's going on an echo round. They just want to make it quit. They just want to close out the round, and CTs just burn them down completely. And this time around, the Prodigies found the CTs one by one. As we gonna take a look at what the players are saying here on the 23rd round.
It's one.
Invent. He's
That
in
double.
vent.
He's stuck vent.
I'm coming into vent.
Vent, vent. Single now,
I
single.
will come into vent, guys. Late.
Out single on default, on default. Ramp is
Default,
not
Vent.
default.
Go back.
Default peeking. Default still. I'm going, go.
Double.
Go. Just go, guys. Go.
Hunting for main. Secret or heaven? I will
was
go
small.
even. You can stay alive.
Yeah, I can.
Radio one. Pushing lobby. Heaven.
close, no? Ah, okay.
Heaven.
Vent for me, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah,
on the left.
On the
Good.
left.
Nice!
Oh!
Good job, Simon. Hurrah! Wow.
Go Vendor.
I do
go
a
fast,
hack.
Vendor. Go
Okay, I
fast.
go. Give me the bomb.
Good job, Simon Horag! Let's go! Quirt's on the clutch there!
Man isn't even built different. He is constructed alternatively. That is just how freaking gorgeous that clutch was coming out from Quartz. And also, just the mid-round adaptation, the way that they were able to think on their toes right on the fly and realize that the B bomb site not an option and they had to send it all the way back above to A. And the rotates from AGO were super duper on point. They knew exactly what was happening. They knew what to expect. But that's all in the past. Tomiko with a deagle. Draws first blood. 5-7 narrowly comes on through for another as Tomiko is single-handedly just cleaning up house down below.
Yeah, but he gets his face skewered onto the wall in the back as payback here by the Prodigy. So it's down to 2 members, Mary and Enzo. Try to finish this round, or maybe try to get to the fence. Here's Keen, fumbles the spray, doesn't get the headshot, and Enzo trades him out completely. FNK knows exactly where Mary is, though. Boop.
Easy pickup right there. Mary should not have gone for the jump instead. Enzo, inside of control, is going to get mollied out, but he's got a tiny little bit of a corner to work with where his feet aren't on fire. Yeah, they obviously know that he's tucked inside of that corner, so at a moment's notice, no! FNK with a wild miss. And this is now relegated into a 1v1 post plant. Quartz takes a boatload of damage, trades some back to Enzo, and there is Quartz. 2 for 2, back-to-back clutches.
Simon Horak closing at another round. He even shrugs. He doesn't care. It's another day at the office. Literally just another day at the office for this gentleman as he clutches yet another round for the Prodigies. That's 13 and 11. T-side is going crazy good here for the Prodigies.
I mean, I would definitely argue that that round was crazy bad for the Prodigies. I mean, they lost a couple of guns to Tomiko's lowly little Deagle. FNK is the reason why it fell back down into a 1v1 scenario after a missed op shot. It could have definitely gotten better, but hey, a dub's a dub, and Shield, with Big Green in his arms, is going to find the first bit of contact onto Mary.
Mary had a little lamb. Nobody notices Archville inside garage, so he will be able to take down Quartz. So no Quartz clutch this round. Wait, FNK, Trigger Discipline. Trigger Discipline is insane! The man is crazy! He gets all the information that he needs, and he 3Ks! AGO Esports!
Absolutely clueless to what was going on. FNK single-handedly puts all of AGO in their place, and with that round, I think AGO's fate may actually be sealed right now. Everyone is floating at around 3,500. At most, you can probably just afford Kevlar with a rifle, and that is about it, as the Prodigies are 1 round away from hitting map point 2, from hitting 16 and getting themselves a 7th win in the regular season.
Good lord. 14 and 11. It's looking good. We have a lot of room to breathe. And AGO Esports have not a lot of money to work with here, as they're already on a very, very short fuse. Forced into a FAMAS. They only have an Eagle on the hands of Enzo. And if they lose this round, man, the Prodigies should be looking at a clean last round for the big dub.
Definitely so. Focus and attention turned towards outside is Darchville, directly outside of main. He is going to be a bit of a headache at the back of their heads that they have to scratch, unfortunately. Mary as well inside of Secret, as they're going to actually go for a naked swing. No flashbangs, no smokes to boot. They're just going to wide swing this. Quartz finds one. Mary's going to be traded off on top of that. They claim control of Secret, and AGO have already started sending people down below, but the bomb goes down inside of no man's land.
Simon!
Recovered though by Quartz. He's left on 1 HP, and he doesn't have a care in the world.
Simon doing all the work for his team, and FNK closes the round. Like you said, that was a naked entry, but they had no right doing that.
No,
They decided to.
not
They
in the
decided to just,
slightest.
you know what? Let's naked entry this. We're gonna trade kills. They're probably under. They probably don't have a lot to work with, so we can easily trade. Let's not just blur our own vision. So as soon as someone drops from the Prodigies, they immediately trade it off.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that was the intended strategy that they were going for. Maybe they were just hoping to shepherd their way across outside with no resistance. But either way, that got a little bit too close for comfort when you were forced to trade off kills in that instance, with the bomb also having gone down, mind you. Either way, though, Enzo, top fragger on the side of AGO, holds on to a dirty 30 kills. He's the first to fall. The A-bomb site fully compromised in the 5v2 post plan. Asterin comes in for 1. The last player alive, Mary, is on top of heaven and now sent right down to hell. It's a 16th round for the Prodigies.
I don't think you're appreciating FNK's massive flick on that bomb site for the entry frag. That was an incredible, even though it was an almost given round for the Prodigies, that was a phenomenal flick. And given that we got into T-side with not a lot of rounds to spare, because you usually want to go on T-side with a healthy amount of rounds advantage from CT, somehow the Prodigies made it work. They made it work, and they turned it into a 16 7-11.
9 rounds on the T side is ridiculous to say the very, very darn least. And I have to feel a little bit bad for AGO right over there because Enzo was, well, pouring his heart out into that entire game. Top fragging within the entire server. He ends things off for AGO with 30 kills to his name. No one on the side of the Prodigies actually even came close to that stat line. And AGO still faltered because the rest of the team really wasn't present during that best of one.
Absolutely. I mean, I believed from the get-go, and it was an incredible performance. This is a very, very, very hot win streak that puts us at 7-4. I believe one game off of playoffs, right?
Potentially. I'm not the guy you should be asking.
But I want to ask you, Two Door Cinema Club.
I'm very clueless when it comes to ESEA's rules and regulations. I think to be safe, it's usually about 10 wins for playoffs.
Okay, we're
last season it was 10. This season it might also be.
Okay, we're checking on that, but right now we're 7-4. We're looking good. We're solid. Angry people in chat for the Prodigy's victory. I believe, like, you know what, the biggest downside for Ego Esports was the fact that they rebranded right before this game started. You know,
True.
If they had their old logo, if they had their old name, they would have had so many more chances at a victory here. But yeah, props to the.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong. AGO, they can play as much as they want, but they will never compare to the team that was once known as Los Cogutos.
With a chicken as their logo, like a poorly drawn chicken. I loved it.
Something that would have been drawn by like a peasant in the medieval times. That's how amazing their logo looked prior to this game start.
10 out of 10 would have absolutely done it. But before we head out for today, we do still have an interview with Shield, the opper for the Prodigies, coming in here clutch with that op. Shield, how are you doing? Another nuke game, another victory. Absolutely broken the curse. So one more game in the bag. How does it feel coming into the 13th game here and 7-4? Really, like after yesterday's performance on Anubis.
Hello guys, thanks for having me. We feel great, obviously, and yeah, it was a close game compared to yesterday's one, but we somehow managed to pull through.
Yeah, that is entirely fair. I did personally cast the map of Anubis yesterday, and that was much more dominant, and also compared to the nuke that we saw versus Enterprise just a couple of days ago, this one did seem to be not as concise. Definitely, at least in the first half on that CT side, there were a lot of issues that needed to be ironed out. There were a couple of rounds where you guys unfortunately let a couple of bomb plants go away, and you couldn't really answer with a defuse because there wasn't a defuse kit. What were sort of like the main struggles, and what were some of the main mistakes that you can learn from during that first half in tonight's CT side?
I think our economy was not good the whole city half, and that's why we struggled with the after plans because of no defuse kits. But yeah, I think we played pretty correctly against their playstyle. Like we were on at the right spots most of the time. Maybe some miss shots somewhere, and that's how we like lost the economy advantage.
Yeah, so basically, like, after that economy disadvantage on the first half, like, were you expecting this much dominance coming into T side on nuke? Because these were like 9 rounds in a row of pure Prodigy dominance. Like, what was the mindset coming into the second half here?
We know our T side is pretty good. We are confident in it, even though the results don't show that. But we know that we have a good strat book for it, and yeah, we just executed our plan and it worked.
Speaking of plans that you guys wanted to execute, and I do want to sort of give you a short little trip down memory lane because the score line was 14-11, and you guys were in a 5v5 scenario with there having been made no contact, not a single shot fired. There's a little bit of util tossed out, and then suddenly you and the rest of the boys start moving towards outside, and you're just turning the corner around that red container. no smokes committed, no flashbangs. You guys decide to nakedly push through outside, and then eventually you were forced to trade things off into the 3v3, and then the bomb plant, or the bomb itself, actually gets stranded outside. Was that sort of just an adaptation on the fly? How come you guys didn't actually choose to commit any smoke grenades towards an outside push? Were you hoping to get away with just walking through outside? What was exactly going on during that particular
Good question. We knew that their economy is really bad, so they wouldn't have an op. They had like pistols and FAMASes, I think. Unfortunately, they did stack outside with 3 people, I'm pretty sure, and the round almost crumbled, but Querts pulled through with 3 really important kills.
Yeah, Quartz pulled through quite a couple of times as well. I think there were also 2 clutches as well throughout that entire match that he was able to, yeah.
Simon!
Literally, he was shouting that nonstop throughout the entire broadcast.
I love it.
Quartz really, really came in clutch numerous times. Shield, thank you so much for joining us on the interview. Thank you so much for allowing us to pick your brain a little bit and for giving us some answers to questions that that we were dying to ask. Congratulations once again on the continuous win streak on Nuke, and we wish you guys and the rest of the lads nothing but the best of luck for the remainder of the regular season here at ESEA.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Take care, bro. Same to you. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The first time that we were actually able to get Shield on the mic as well for a short little interview. Very, very calm lad, very concise. Man of very few words as well, I will admit.
I mean, still, you don't need a lot of words when you have when you also play without a lot of bullets. You know, you only have 5 rounds in a mag when you're playing ops, so you're used to not throwing out a lot of bullets. But when they land precisely. And that's exactly what we have from these Shield interviews. You know, it's the perfect metaphor. You don't even come at me like.
I will come at you because obviously, just like the op, I'm pretty sure his speech might have gotten nerfed. You know, he might have had like an allowed vocabulary of 10, and that's been reduced to 5 since his magazine got cut.
5 words per sentence, 5 words per answer, basically.
We played very good, guys. 5, for example. But yeah, side tangents aside, let's go ahead and take a look and crown our MVP for this particular matchup. There are a couple of really, really great candidates. I did see FNK top the kill meter, if I'm not mistaken, towards the very tail end, so my money's on him, and yep, I was right on the spot. 23 kills, 95.7 ADR, and a 1.35 KD is a pretty damn good performance for Nuke.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen FNK clutch the runs that he had to clutch. Obviously, all of the players played really, really well this time around. I'm sure the shot calling from Keen was on point too. But FNK coming in with the MVP absolutely deserved, because he held his own, especially on the rounds that really, really mattered. Like the rounds that you were expecting to, this was kind of an iffy entry, but we still managed to pulling through. And then FNK carried more than his own weight into a victory. And against CSGO Esports, this was the man of your game. Let's go for the full stats of the game versus CSGO Esports, where we have obviously in first place FNK SVT, close behind him Quartz, Keen, and Shield, all of which with all but Keen on a positive KD. Darn it.
Yeah, little bit unfortunate, but
it's a positive KDA for Keen nonetheless, because he has 5 assists.
And at the exact same time, he's the IGL. He has to worry much more about the words that are coming out of his mouth compared to his kill record throughout the entire series. But either way, really, really great all-around performance coming out from the Prodigies. The largest gap is realistically between FNK and Shield, 7 kills, and that is honestly just completely fine. Everyone played together as an absolute unit, and props to FNK for being the MVP on back-to-back performances on Nuke as well. Not quite outdoing his last performance.
No.
Just 4 kills short, but either way, the brunt of the spear leading the boys all the way to victory.
Yeah, but look at Quartz. He's really, really short behind him. He's only 1 kill off of that juicy MVP. I guess at the end of the day, FNK would still have gotten the MVP thanks to his 3 assists and 1 less death. But overall, amazing performance by all the members of the Prodigies against CSGO Esports. By Mr. Korba. That's a shame. And chat got nuked. That's okay. But yeah, amazing performance by the Prodigies overall. Absolutely deserved win. And one step closer to playoffs. So it's one step further.
Took you a second, but we got there.
Or-
One step closer to playoffs. Indeed.
Englando, not
And we might-
mainland
Yeah.
Apologies.
I know English either. Let's go ahead and take a look at the remainder of the schedule that we actually have available for the regular season, because obviously we have one more game that is going to be coming up in just, well, actually less than an hour. It's going to be in about 45 minutes from now exactly.
What?
That's going to be the Prodigies versus Viperio. I know. Crazy. Viperio, one of the most revered teams currently within the Western European scene. I believe they are at the top of the leaderboard of UKCS as well. So this is going to be a relatively tough.
Would be a shame if we'd rack up an easy dub against them, wouldn't it?
I know, it would be absolutely hilarious.
I know.
I do.
Well, I guess we'll have to wait and
also-
see in 45 minutes. Haha.
Yeah. I do also have I do remember also reading a little bit earlier on HLTV that apparently Extinct from the Dripmen might be coming to fill in for Viperio at a certain point, which means that Viperio could potentially not be with their full.
Wait, are you
like,
telling
regular
me the
5-man
guy from
stack.
Dripman didn't get enough of losing 16-7 on DE Nubis, so he wants to come
Yeah.
back again, play for Viperio?
Yep,
That's what. That's okay. Cool.
He
Fine
wants to
by
take
him.
another beating potentially, but yeah, that next matchup could potentially be an 8th win secured for the Prodigies, and if they're able to pick up themselves a dub on, well, versus both Budapest 5 and Coalesce, that will be a nice round 10 by the end of the regular season.
Absolutely, and it will be almost a guaranteed ticket over to the playoff spot that we were discussing here on ESEA Advanced Season 44. That's a lot of teams that want those spots in playoffs, but honestly, we truly deserve them a little bit more than them.
It's not exactly something that, the last time that I spoke to Jerome as well, I do, or at the very least, I ran into Jerome in Abu Dhabi when we were both at Blast for the World Finals, and
Okay.
I do remember having a little bit of a chat with him at that certain point, saying like, yeah, the main division, that was basically child's play, and Advanced is gonna be that point where we really have to start testing our skills to see if we're actually competent enough to make it all the way to playoffs. And so far, they've been everything that we could have asked for.
Everything that we could have asked for, but you know what this means. The highlight reel is rolling, so it also means we have to wrap it up. Obviously, we thank our sponsors, Razer, Secretlab, Fozzy, Game Service, Refrag, and Scope.gg for making all of this possible, bringing all the action alongside as the Prodigies plow their way through the ESEA Advanced, and obviously Tudor. Major thanks for having me once again here. It's always a pleasure to cast with
Always
you,
a
man.
pleasure. Yeah, likewise. It's been an absolute hooter that we had this evening, but obviously you don't want to go away, because in just about 44 minutes time on the dot, we will return for the next best of one blowout to see if we can pick up an 8th win versus the side of Viperia. So make sure to go ahead and drop a follow on the stream. Make sure that you have notifications turned on, or just, stick around and don't shut down that browser for the next 40 minutes. We will see you guys back for the next matchup versus Viperio in just a short few. Take care.
We are Prodigy Agency. We represent and support the best esports players in the world. With our family spirit, we provide everything you need during difficult moments or epic ones. We work on every aspect of your journey, planning and managing your career to find the best teams toward one goal: victory. We negotiate your contracts and transfers. We find sponsors and commercial opportunities. We help you grow your own brand, cultivate your image, and developing your merch, social media, and content. We take care of your health and performances. And everything we do it for you. Your success is our goal. Prodigy Agency, players first.